Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Miguel, and this is the Didn't Anyone Mention podcast. What do you got for me today?
I guess, yeah. I've seen like
I have a question for you.
What? What?
Have you ever just wished something was built? Like you're just like,
all the time.
Like I'm not even saying like, oh, I just wish I had the money to build it. Like, were you just like, dude, I just need this right now.
Yeah, I mean, every day of my life.
Yeah. Well,
if you're about to sell me on something, I'm already sold.
Let me just tell you, it might have happened one time.
What do you mean?
Somebody prayed for it, and it happened.
Oh my gosh, was his name Noah, and did he want a boat?
No. Noah built his own boat, okay?
He did?
Yeah.
That's how the story goes?
He built the boat because God told him to. And everybody was like, you're crazy.
God told me to buy a boat. Anyways, continue.
Have you ever heard of the Loretto Chapel?
Loretto Chapel.
In New Mexico.
Why does it sound familiar?
I don't know. I found it on a TikTok, just to clarify for everybody. But it has this magical staircase that defies a lot.
Yes.
Yes?
I know. It was too advanced first time.
It's advanced. It's very advanced, even for this time. Like, for not having any kind of support or anything like that.
Oh, man. I know what you're talking about. Kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know all the details.
Okay.
But, yes.
Okay. Well.
It's like a spiral almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, it's a Gothic, revival is technically like the class of building or whatever.
So much more clear now.
It was built 1873, finished up in 1878. It was built by literally a French architect, Projectus.
That's his name?
Like Project Us.
That's his full name?
Projectus Moly. M-O-U-L.
Project a Smalley.
Smalley. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
They
feel
didn't.
Bad for that guy.
I was gonna say, I don't know if they even. You're advanced for your time. What can I say? And then it's the Sisters of Loretto is like because it ended up being a chapel, right? So the nuns, the sisters, that's who made it all happen.
Mm-hmm.
But, back in 1855, Gene, he moved over there and was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a freaking 2-story La Casa Americana, the American house.
Uh-huh.
He was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this like 2-story house. Like, I'm gonna make a freaking nice house. So he did that. It's like a 2-story pitched roof building that stood there. It was like right next to the chapel. He was like living his best life, la-di-da. Well, they also could, in 1882, when this 2-story like convent was like replaced, there was like a 3-story girls' school that went there. So like it's been a lot of things. It was like a chapel. Now it's like retired, quote unquote.
How can a building retire?
Well, like it's like not like used as a chapel. It's used for history, and it actually can be rented out for weddings.
Of course, it can be.
But like it's
weddings.
not like, but you know, it's like sometimes it's like those old churches and like when you go to like places and they're like, oh, you want to see this church? They don't actually have service in there all the time. Mm-hmm. Some of them do, some of them don't. But they're just like historic at that point, so they can't. So that's what it retired essentially. So, like you said, it's called the Miraculous Stairs. That's what it's called. Miraculous Stair.
Okay.
It's like nobody really knows exactly who built it or how it was built.
Uh-huh.
So that's why it's such a weird story. And like you said, it is advanced against, like, on his time. We'll post a picture of it too, because it is really pretty. And it's just like perfectly, like, 2 full turns, like, all the way up. Because what had happened was the architect, my homeboy project, he was literally meant for this, let's be honest. He was born, his parents were like, you know what, he's gonna be a carpenter. Name him Project. He died randomly, like, in the middle of construction. So there was a choir room up top that he just never was able to build stairs for. So he, like, built it, and, like, I don't know how he built it and then didn't work down or anything, or worked up. I don't know how that works. But he never got stairs. I'm guessing he used scaffold, thank you. I was like, a graffle? That's not right. But I don't know how he did it. But he built these 2 levels and then never had anything to connect it because he died. So that's how they were, like, trying to figure out. So it's like 20 feet off the ground. But they couldn't. They were like, well, we had this whole choir room, and it's already a pretty small chapel, where they were, like, stressed out. Like, they asked so many people to build stairs, and nobody would do it. They couldn't find anybody to do it. So these sisters prayed for 9 straight days. There's some stories say that after the 9th day, the stairs magically appeared. But most of them say that this man showed up and was like, I got you. I'll build them for you. Don't even worry about it, Buttercup. He builds the stairs, leaves, never gets paid. They never know who it is.
But they're beautiful.
They're gorgeous. But you're telling me right now, would you ever do that? You show up, you know, you're just a humble man. You're a carpenter, just wanting to live his life.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? I'm just going to build these stairs. I'm going to dip. Free of charge.
I guess it depends.
People say that it came up instantly. Some people say it took 6 to 8 months to build these chairs. These stairs. Would you just show up and do this?
If I could do it instantly, I probably would. If it took me 6 to 8 months, probably not.
My other thing is this wood is mostly built out of woods, and it's held together by wooden pegs. There's no glues or nails or any other hardware used for these stairs. It's 2-story.
I mean,
building.
The Japanese and the Chinese built like that for centuries.
Yeah. But in this, like, area, nobody's ever seen it. And the wood that they used is not even the type of wood that's local to New Mexico.
That's the part that I remember too.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the pyramids.
Yeah.
From sandstone and quarries from hundreds of miles away.
But they say that it's like there's 7 wooden segments that join together on pegs. Literally, if it would have been like how it's so perfectly put together, if anything little different would have been done, it wouldn't have, like, been able to support itself. Just, like, the littlest little bit. And they say that because, like, with, like, that amount of, like, arithmetic and everything like that, nobody could figure, like, it would take a lot for somebody to figure out, especially, like, somebody who hasn't, like, especially back in the 1800s when people maybe didn't have as, like, schooling or knowing anything like that, like, the, like, thought process of it, like, people are like, how? Where did this person come from?
I don't believe that, but go ahead.
You don't believe it?
No, I think there's always been skilled craftsmen.
So you're saying that people have to learn it by doing math or something, but, like, somebody who can just look at it, they can just figure it out without doing math.
Not look at it, but with experience. It comes...
Well, that's what I'm saying, I guess. After experience and doing it for someone.
100%.
So then why is there not other structures like this in that town? Or anywhere near it?
I don't know. Maybe he was traveling through.
But anywhere else local, there's nothing else, like, locally. Like, even, like, in the state. Like, there's not, like, anything, like, around that time in any kind of area around it.
So there's no other places that use the same... Let me see a picture of it.
Okay.
Let's see. Sam's going to look it up. Because I can't remember what it looks like, but I really am having a hard time imagining it. So the wood's from somewhere different,
Yes.
which would indicate he's a traveler that had wood.
Yes. So this is what it looks like. It is like so perfectly. I've never seen stairs look that perfect.
Yeah, it is. It is beautiful. I'll give him that.
It's like a perfect helix, like 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 when you see like pictures of DNA and how it twists. It's like perfectly like that.
Yeah, it is. It is beautiful. I'll give him that.
They did so at first. It didn't have railings. That was added later, because it freaked people out
Okay.
not having
so
support to walk down.
so originally it was just steps.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is that there is 33 steps, and that is the age Jesus Christ died, allegedly.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is that including the floor and the?
I don't know.
Ground level?
It just said 33 steps. I don't know.
Okay, I think that's reaching for straws. Personally.
Okay. Yeah, because you can see like there's nothing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
There's nothing supporting it. There's nothing.
Yeah, it's something a skilled craftsman could make, I think.
I completely agree. The weird thing is like, why did nobody like we knew who the architect? Like, why didn't we get the name of this guy? Apparently, there is in the 2000s actually. So not super like pretty rarely in the early 2000s, they call her an amateur historian, Mary Jean Cook. She theorized that the probable builder of the staircase was Francis Jean Frank, or Frenchy Rojas.
He's French and his name's Frenchy.
They like Frenchy Rojas is like Frenchie's like his nickname, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So he was alive from 1843 to 1894. And remember, this was done. The stairs were about, because that's the other thing. There's not like an exact year, but oh wait, I'm like scrolling through this and it's on my note. It was sometimes between 1877 and 1881, which the architect died in 1879, and they say that he didn't do it, so it has to be 1879 to 1881.
Okay.
But now I just scrolled past it because I thought I was on my doc. But he was like a rancher, an occasional carpenter who came to New Mexico from France in the 70s, or 1870s. And they said, like, this is the little bit of, he was actually murdered, so, but he was a Frenchman. He was, like, favorably known in Santa Fe, and he built a staircase in the chapel. Like, that's, like, somebody, like, said that about him once he was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was, like, a comment. So people were like, oh, so he did that. And they're like, that's not, like, actual proof. But then she also found an entry in the sister's logbook stating Rochas, that's the last name, had paid $150 US, which is about $4,700 nowadays, in wood, just wood, in 1881, confirming that he had done some type of carpentry work for them at the time of his, like, before the time of his death. So that's like where, and he also owned saws, saw clamps, 9 planes, I don't even know what that is, like, or 9 planes. He had molding planes, he had gauges, chisels, like he had all the stuff technically to be able, like, tools to be able to build it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people dispute her theory and say, like, that's not correct. Just because he paid for wood doesn't mean that he made the staircase.
I could see the argument because he can't be the only carpenter.
Yeah.
Right? And there's probably dozens, if not hundreds, of other carpenters that paid for wood.
Yeah.
I would see that side.
Yeah. There is one. I mean, Nevada and New Mexico isn't super far, so I guess you are correct. I keep on thinking about it farther, but there was technically around the same time of the 1870s, these stairs popped up again. And then the other one is all the way in Poland. But This is technically one as well. This is one that was in Nevada.
Yeah, that looks. I'm guessing the railing or the siding was added, or the railing was added separately.
I don't know. It just says that one's a similar, like, a very similar architecture.
Yeah, I would agree. Oh, I did something.
Dang.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, we're good. Okay. But that's at it's like the old Washoe Club in Virginia City, Nevada. But it's like the longest of its kind without a supporting pole, which this is technically, yeah, it's technically a little bit long. There's 2 full turns, but this one has like just a little bit more of an edge on one. But they even made a movie about it.
Really? About the stairs?
Yeah.
So I can see.
Because, I mean, it's religious. A lot of people, when they have, like, a religious, like, background.
Yeah, it might not have been super common in the Western U.S. at that time.
Mm-hmm. I think
but I wonder what kind of staircases were built in Europe around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because especially, like, I mean, if he was born in, what was it, 1843, he would have been in his, like, 30s in and then think about it, we technically think it's 1880. He would be in his 30s or 40s. At that point, if you've been doing it for as long as, more likely teens, like 17, 16, like, things were very different back then on when you started work and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, he started at 6, right?
Yeah, so he could have been doing that for easily 34 years. Like, yeah, like you said, with time, those things can be learned, especially if he loved, like, if he enjoyed it. I think when you put a lot of love in what you do, especially carpentry, art, whatever, like, those things just come thoughtlessly.
I would agree. I think if you're a skilled craftsman in whatever you are, like being a carpenter, concrete, whatever, you can look at something and you can kind of know how to do it already. Yeah. I think that overtakes any kind of education. It happened all the time with like technicians coming in, like they had all the schooling behind them, but you put them in front of an issue and they don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at you.
Thanks, babe. But like, yeah, framers, like my coworkers, a couple of them are framers, and we were building a deck for somebody a year ago, and I've never done that before. I thought we had to build up some plans, and they just started doing it, and it all worked out. Everything worked out. Yeah,
it's I think especially when you do something you enjoy, I think you start. I mean, at that point, I think he enjoyed, like, especially if it was like, I don't need my name on this. I just want to help you guys out. Like, yeah, pay me, but, like, I don't need my name on this. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like, you guys need the help, so here I am.
Yeah. But at the same time, pretty cool if that was God that came down.
I know.
I guess it'd be Jesus, right?
Well, it could be, so they prayed to, because they're Catholic, obviously, because it's sisters and all that stuff. They prayed to the Saint Joseph, is the saint of carpentry.
Is it?
Yeah, so they prayed to him for 9-Day Street.
Saint Joe.
So homeboy Joe just came down,
Yeah.
Joe
was not a no-show.
No, he showed.
He showed.
He was a shower.
Joe showed.
He was a shower, what can I say? Okay, that's it. That's all I have for you. That was the staircase. I can't believe you knew about the staircase.
I was going to do an episode on it.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I don't know what happened. I never got that deep into it.
I found it, and then I saved it, and then I forgot about it. And then I think I went back to look at a saved video, because I was like, I saved a recipe or something, and I was like, I totally forgot that I was going to do that one. So, short, simple, easy.
Yeah, well, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.